Hey guys, and welcome back to Omnifactory. On to episode number 17 now, I think. In terms of what we've done off camera, I actually did a fair bit of work, but it wasn't kind of the normal work that I do. I wanted to see how far we could realistically get with our current tech level, with stuff that I've done, and I'll be honest, I spent about 2 or 3 hours working on the actual machinery. First thing that you'll notice straight away is this thing here. So I decided to get into some Ender IO teleportation. Really not hard. If we have a look at the actual staff of travelling, vibrant crystal and dark steel rods, which is just vibrant alloy and an emerald, so that's not a problem. These guys here, so the travel anchors, if we have a look at these, they're not hard either. Again, pulsating crystal and vibrant alloy dark steel dust, so not a problem. I've got our ME terminal and our power room set up. Speaking of the power room, I've also done a few liquids here and there. I'll get into that when I come through it, but if we go to the power room, initially I doubled up our canola farm, and the reason being is that I got into empowered canola seeds, and I wanted to make sure that we were having a decent enough amount of seed income. The reason that I've done this is that I left literally after I filmed the episode, I left the game running overnight, and it was to get through our backlog of ores, which we're still getting through, and the entirety of my base was unpowered when I woke up. So we went through the full 450,000 RF that we've got stored here, the batteries and stuff that we've got all around the CEFs, they were all empty. I had very little power in my AE system as well. I think I was down to this one here, but I know for a fact these two were fully empty. Fortunately, I keep the ZPM in my satchel pretty much for these reasons, and you can probably see how much power I've used from that. Yeah, easy way to do it, to be honest. We just put the ring back on to peak those up. Now this will be draining. As you can see, we're using about 15, 16, all the way up to 17, 18,000 RF. And we're realistically not actually using anything at the moment. But you can literally just straight up put the ZPM into the CEU and it'll power up everything else from there. So yeah, that's pretty much what happens though. Decided to go to the empowered canola seeds. One of the other issues that I came across was the fact that we wasn't producing enough, is it ethanol? What do we use? Is it? Yeah, so we weren't producing enough ethanol to even keep up with the crystallized oil. And it wasn't just the fact that we wasn't keeping up with enough ethanol. We wasn't actually being able to use the last 3 of these breweries just with the, I think I had 4 set up. So we was straight up just not producing enough sugarcane. I had to sort that side out. So with the crystallized oil, we were using, it worked out you used 3 buckets of ethanol for 500 millibuckets of crystallized oil, and one of these, the sodium's not a problem. With the empowered oil, the way it works is you use half as much ethanol and half as much empowered oil to still produce the same amount. In theory, this should double the amount of biodiesel that we get, and I say double because we had plenty of crystallized oil. The oil isn't a problem, it was the ethanol. So we've got a empower setup over here. Very simple setup, just some conduits with some item filters if I dig down a little bit. So this guy here is prioritizing and whitelisting crystallized seeds. These guys are whitelisting just normal canola seeds, if you were wondering. But yeah, it is just a very basic, commonly used setup. Decided to put the wiring for the base in the wall, so this is going in like a U shape underneath, just to kind of keep everything out of the way. Now, I don't think it looks too bad, if I'm quite honest. I think it looks quite well. So yeah, that's that side. So that's power wise. At the moment, I am gently keeping an eye on it. We are producing more biodiesel now than what we're using if we are just AFKing stuff, so we are into a good place in terms of power at the moment. But yeah, definitely wasn't. Hydrogen wise, I decided I had a 64 kme fluid cell. Why not use it for the hydrogen? I did set up our fluid storage bus here. So the way this thing works is it's a fluid storage bus with hydrogen in the filters with a priority set at -1000 straight into a fluid trash can. That was working absolutely fine, so that wasn't a problem. And at the end you might also see something else, and yeah. If we have a look at the quest book, this is what I was saying by I've done quite a few things. I've even got into 1 or 2 late game stuff, so that shows you how well we are progressing. That's in some of the more rudimentary quests, so we needed to make an obsidian furnace. It's really not hard, it's just 2 diamond furnace obsidian. What else have we got? So compacting drawers. Again, LV pistons, really simple recipe for what we're at. The jetpacks, again, not a problem at all. We've pretty much crafted the majority of what we've got all the way through. It really is not a problem at this stage. Refiner, I think one of them gave me a little bit of trouble. Not that one. I think it was just the fact that I had to manually produce a couple of bits. I think if we go into this one, it's probably this one. Energetic. Yeah, so we had to manually produce a couple of vibrant crystals. That was the only thing that was vibrant and pulsating crystals. Everything else is fine. We had those stored. So if we have a look at the jetpacks, decided to get them on fully auto craft as well. So if we ever need to, we can literally just go through. Obsidian dust is all that we're missing. So yeah, absolutely no issues there. I'm happy to keep that as it is. In terms of that as well, for thermal, decided to get myself a flux capacitor, a reinforced one. They were already used, and as you can see, it's electrum, invar, copper, lead. At this stage, it's just the basic resources. It stores 90 million RF, and you can send and receive at 90. Yeah, you get a decent amount of power. And one of the things I did actually do was this. So the staff of traveling, when you've got a flux capacitor on, literally allows you to fly across the world. Yeah, I just played around with that for a bit. And it allows you to travel back down. Because of the flux capacitor, it just takes it straight out there. It barely uses any power as well. We've also now got power back to our dark steel boots. So if I, for example, went across here, let's just go through the wall. We shouldn't take any fall damage as well. Down here, I did some ruby mining, so this was a really nice pocket of ruby. Still got some more in there as well, so that's all going through. But let's travel back home. Love these things here, they're absolutely amazing. Surprised I didn't get into them any sooner. But yeah, if we go back to our quests, down here, this was getting into the... I'll be honest, the reason that I didn't go through it is because I didn't even realise that... I probably should have, but I didn't realise, based on the quests, that they would have been available. I thought they'd have been a lot further down, so... I'd done the octadic capacitor, that wasn't a problem. Then the only thing that was showing was the VAT and Dew of the Void. Now, if you have a look at Dew of the Void, which I do have stored, the only thing it's really used for is this here. And if you have a look at the actual quest, there wasn't any real need for me to do the VAT either at that stage. It realistically wasn't a problem that I was coming through. It gets all of this stuff, fire, water, shore, cloud seeds, but there was no real reason for me to actually make the VAT. Now, because I decided to go back and do some of the more rudimentary quests, I figured it's not a hard thing to make, which as soon with the way that this quest book works, it allows you, for example here, to see one after the quest that's open. Because I only had that, the only thing that was showing was this. As soon as I did this, it showed me this, and I was like, oh my god, why have I not done this already? That was literally what went through my head. So yeah, did this as well, which is leading in. I'm guessing this space here is going to be literally for space. Spacesuits, rocket fuel. Hypochlorous acid is not hard. We used, I think it was this one. Or did I use? No, I used this one actually. So mercury I just got from electrolyzing redstone. You get 3 buckets for every 10, and we have a ton of redstone, so figured that was the way to go through it on that one. Then we went ammonia. So ammonia again, not a problem. Nitrogen and hydrogen. We have a ton of hydrogen. So nitrogen itself, which is electrolyzing down, or was it centrifuging down? No, it was definitely electrolyzing. No, which one did I use? Saltpeter. So 5 saltpeter gets you a bucket of nitrogen and 3 buckets of oxygen. Decided while I was electrolyzing saltpeter to actually get some potassium as well, so we completed that quest because that's on the end game quest. Again, not a problem. If we go over here, we have the additional chemical reactor open, so that's where that's being used, not a problem there. One thing that I will say as well, I'll come into that a little bit after, let's just follow this through still. So methanol, again, not a problem at all. Chemical reactor with carbon monoxide and hydrogen, which we already have. Carbon monoxide coming in, we've got a little bit there, which I think came from the titanium tetrachloride. So yeah, as you can see, we're filling up with biodiesel again, which is beautiful. So yeah, methanol, not a problem either, which opens up these 3 here. So chloramine is ammonia and hypochlorous acid. Already showed you we made that really easy. Then that was dimethylamine. I think that's what it's pronounced as. Methanol and ammonia. Again, we've already produced those from the previous 3 quests, which I think is why it's kind of set up in this way, if I'm honest. And that leads to 1,1-dimethyl hydrazine, which is a combination of both those. We also get some diluted hydrochloric acid, which I quickly I robbed this guy here, the distillery, and just chucked it straight back into the hydrochloric acid that we're storing. So yeah, that's why that's there, and that's where I kind of left it. Rocket fuel, again, it wouldn't have been too hard to make. It's oxygen and that in a mixer. Realistically, I can just use that straight through. Let's have a look. So 1. Is there any uses for this really? Okay, not really actually. That's the only thing that it's used for. So we've got 16 buckets of that. I'll eventually just change that across into some. In fact, let me grab a bucket now. Might as well do it while we're waiting. Buckets. In fact, let me grab my tanks. I'm going to use the lot. Might as well. Tank. I also made some of these as well. What's happened to my tanks? Hello? Oh, I wonder if I was draining... Yes, okay. That's fine. I think I was draining the last of our crystallized fluid. That's what happened there. Anyway, so we need 4. We'll grab that out. And while we're waiting for that, I'm going to stop the extract on that. Okay, so that'll get that for the rocket fuel. Might as well while we're here. Now, if we move into mid-game, what did I get through? Quite a bit. Now, what I will say on this is none of this is automated, which is a fairly big issue, and it's one thing that I do want to kind of get through. We'd actually already gotten through this here on the quest, but for some reason, because you don't do carbon fibers, it doesn't unlock the quest, which I can't understand, because you don't use these to actually get to titanium. Not entirely sure why that's a thing, but in the last episode we actually already had done, realistically, all the way to here. We'd already done these kind of 7 quests. EV machine hull, again, not a problem. So that was just a case of I did that and went back and kind of got everything again. And then that kind of led us down to here. So tungsten, tungsten steel, tungsten carbide, empowerer. Takes a little bit of work, but with what we did in the last episode, getting the EV electrolyzer up and running allowed me to do that fairly simple. It just needed some time. So a couple of things to make note of, I guess, is tungsten. Tungsten is probably one of the big gates in the pack itself when it comes to EV machinery, at least, because tungsten, yep, that's not a problem. You only need 120 EU. Again, not a problem. We had that already through 3000 Kelvin. Not a problem. Tungsten dust. Where does that come from? So, small piles of tungsten, pulverizing tungsten. No good. Tiny piles of tungsten. Can we get this from anywhere? Pulverizing, again, tungsten. So no good. So we have to get this guy here. Can we centrifuge it? Yes. From tungsten steel dust and tungsten carbide dust, which guess what? You need tungsten to get. Then we go to the electrolyzer, which is scheelite or tungstate dust. Scheelite is from scheelite or, yep, let's take that back. That's in the small microverse projector. Okay, so we know any of that quite yet. And it's same for tungstate ore. Now, there is one thing which I did take use of, which is why I did say you might want to take a note of this thing here. So we already have a centrifuge up and running, and if I'm honest, to speed it up, if we have a look in here, centrifuge, I actually made 2 extra HV centrifuges because tungstate dust, and it's the small piles, so it's not even tiny piles, the small piles comes from centrifuging endstone dust. Sure, not exactly very, we don't have a lot of that at hand, so not that great, and if I'm honest, 12.5% chance, not something that I plan on doing. Lava. You can centrifuge 100 millibuckets of lava and you have a chance, it's only a very small chance at 2.5%, but you can get tungstate dust from lava. Yeah, it's fair to say that I did that. Now lava, we have not a lot of, if I'm honest, because that thing ran out. The pumps keep running out, so it's not an unlimited source. Or is it? If we have a look at lava, and it's something that I didn't even realise was a thing, you get, I didn't really look at this recipe because I was like, magma blocks, not exactly great, but you get half a stack per blaze matter. So yeah, lava's actually really easy to come by in this pack, and I didn't actually realise it. So it's safe to say, the way that I kind of ran it was, I came across to here, literally chucked 1,000 magma blocks into here, let that all run through, and then just kept filtering it into a couple of centrifuges, and we got plenty of tungstate dust. I think we should have still actually got a little bit left. So yeah, a little bit of tungstate dust, tungsten itself, so that's not a problem there. Use it in hydrogen, and this I also did a little bit of work down here. I can turn this off before I mess anything up. I paused the automation of the pulsating dust so that I could use the electrolyzer down here, because if you have a look at tungstate dust, it's the normal size ones in the electrolyzer. 7 buckets of hydrogen, 7 tungstate dust makes you a tungsten dust at EV level power. So that's a really good way, I think, to get into your tungsten level machinery at this stage. And to be honest, it's not actually that bad moving forward, with the fact that you can actually pretty much get lava on demand through deep mob learning, which is what I'm going to be actually doing some more of this episode. We're going to get into a little bit more of kind of finalizing the deep mob learning stuff, so that's that side anyway. That's tungsten, which was one of the big kind of catching points that I found last episode. Tungsten steel is, once you get into tungsten, not a problem. 1 tungsten, 1 steel ingot, 2 tungsten steel ingots. That goes through into the wire mill, which in turn turns into your tungsten steel blocks. It should do, I think. I think that's what these are over here. Yeah, tungsten steel coils. Cool. Didn't do anything special with them, did I? No, it's literally just tungsten steel ingot. Yep, that's fine. Also, one thing that I do find really quite interesting, if you want to see what it's like inside of these, hold shift and right click. Wait, is it not doing it now? Yep. You can actually get inside of the blast furnaces if you want to see what it looked like. Something I did find interesting the first time that I used it. I was like, where the hell am I? So yeah. Also allows me to get into the back of this if needs be as well. But yeah, that's that. Wonder if we've got so we've got a little bit of oxygen that'll just keep producing through. I will have to get rid of the hydrogen actually. Let me pull both of those out. There we go. Okay, so that's that one. The Empowerer, once you get your tungsten, is not a problem. The only thing that was holding me back was that, as you can see, it's dark steel, vibrant alloy, aluminium casing, black quartz, so we already had all of that. The hardest part is literally the tungsten carbide plates, which tungsten carbide is tungsten and a carbon ingot, 2700 Kelvin, not a problem. So that's why that's set up over there, because once we got to our tungsten, it didn't make sense to not get into the Empowerer really, so that's already set up, that's all going through. And yeah, so this guy over here is storing 32 stacks of empowered canola seeds, empowered oil. As I say, the oil itself isn't the problem. The issue is the ethanol, which is used up half as much as you go through the tiers. So the only reason I doubled up was to make sure that I was going to 100% have enough seeds. If I'm honest, you can probably get away with 1 farm still, even at the empowered level, but it would be touch and go, so I didn't really feel like messing around with anything on that side. Anything else that I did? I know that I did quite a bit of off-camera work, which, to be honest, this episode is mainly going to be about what I did off-camera. Late game wise, I did some vanadium gallium, which is just blast furnace work. Vanadium is just vanadium dust, which we was getting a fair bit from the pulverizing of vanadium magnetite. So that's in the iron ore veins, if you was wondering. So we've got a fair bit of vanadium magnetite, vanadium dust. As you can see, vanadium dust, we're already up at that. I made a stack of each so that I could complete some of the quests as well. Tungsten steel coil box is actually one of the first things in late game that you'll more than likely do. As I say, it's very easy for me to get into this. And yeah, if we have a look at this as well, realistically, IV machinery is just tungsten steel plates. So if we realistically have a look at it, there's not a lot of stuff that we'll need, and I'm tempted to kind of jump through EV machinery. Might even just jump straight into IV machinery, which is the next scale up. But then I have to think about the power usage, so there's a few different variables that I'll have to look into. Late game wise, because I got the Empower, it opens up this, which is just a case of making one of each, which not too bad, I don't think. But I don't see any conflux catalysts. Just getting into these, which are not too bad of a thing either as well. Don't see any reason to have to do those just yet, if I'm honest, because the only thing that you actually use these things for is the Eternal Catalyst, which we're actually a fair bit of way, if you wouldn't have known. Yeah, so there's a fair bit of work before we even get into these kind of things, so I honestly don't know why that's a kind of thing at the moment. That's what I was trying to get to. But yeah, the Empowerer, realistically, I've had a look through some of the recipes, and the only thing that is actually going to be used for is like drill augmentations. You sometimes use some of the empowered, some of the base actually addition stuff, possibly into Phantom Faces as well. I think Restonia uses it, is it? Yeah, so Phantom Faces, not a massive deal though, so we'll see how that goes, but I have a feeling that the Empower is just going to be left out here for quite a while, just doing the empowered oil. Down here, so I made Solarium ingots simply because it was there. I was like, how have I not already done this? Soul Sand is on craft because you can use sand in the Atomic Reconstructor, so I put that as a recipe as well, if you was wondering. And then Soul Sand is literally Soul Sand, Solarium is Soul Sand and a piece of gold, so that's not hard. Platinum we already had, vanadium as I've just shown you, chlorine is why the fluid solidifies set up on the left, boron, magnesium, potassium, calcium, yeah, titanium, palladium, tungsten and yttrium. Again, stuff that we already had with us. If I'm honest, things like mercury I could do, but I don't see any reason yet. Mercury again is just redstone. Nitrogen, again, that's something that we can do if needs be. I don't know. Then these kind of solidified quests are just a case of me wasting resources at this point. I just don't feel like doing it, if I'm honest. But yeah, what I'm going to be doing, what I also did as well, was get rid of the downgrades in our deep mob learning stuff. So yeah, we are pretty much set for base resources, that's for sure. I've set these guys up. They're not in use at the moment, but the plan of action is to finish off the entirety of the beginning quest, which, given the fact that you need to make a wither data model, some might be looking at this like, how are you going to do that? But it's actually really simple. So nether stars, you can make them using this recipe. Now luminescence we can craft because we've got phosphoric acid, and the rest is just basic resources. And then you're just looking at these guys here, which, if we go back over here, from the thermal elemental you actually can get these rods. So that's the plan of action, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I've also, if we have a look at data model, I've already made the Ender Dragon data model, which this one I could have done again a long time ago. Dragon layer data, you might be looking at that thinking you have to get through this. No, you can just work your way up. Impossible realm data is just solidified experience, which I fortunately had some from killing mobs. I think I should have still got some as well. So yeah, so you just get that every now and again from killing mobs. Yeah, there's a solidified chlorine as well, if you were wondering. But yeah, that's that side. I'm actually going to get this put in. Might as well. I'm going to use a lot of power. What is it? Yeah, a lot of power. That'll get running. Keep that running for a little bit. Now, let's get the thermal one then. So thermal elemental. Let's kind of get this one ready. What you need is to get one of any of the kind of specialized thermal dusts, which the one that we'll be going through, it can be literally any of them. I think the easiest one, if I remember right, is this one. Yeah, is it that one, or is it? No, it's Petrotheum dust. It is the Petrotheum one. So obsidian dust is not a problem. Basalts is coal dust and elemental reduction fluid, which is pulsating dust and hydrofluoric acid. Not a problem. So let me grab a bucket. I should have still got some hydrofluoric. Was it hydrochloric or which one was it actually? Hold the phone. You can just choose any of them. Chemical reactor. Hydrofluoric acid. Okay. So we don't have this one, sorry. Hydrofluoric acid, fluorine is, I had a look, which one was it that we would be using? No. Mica, no. Leptides. Biotides. Topaz, I think it could have been. I think could have been topaz. I had a look at one of these and I was like, that's really easy. Here we go. Lepidolite. This is the one. Electrolyzed down gives us 2 buckets of fluorine and a little bit of oxygen at EU level. That's fine. So let's electrolyze that all in. I thought that I'd made enough, that's fine. So again, this is another one. So where I was saying that the end game kind of solidifying quests, we're getting fluorine. So yeah, that's a couple of things to look at, but not a big deal. Wait for this to all run through. Let's have a look. So in the electrolyzer with fluorine, fluorine then gets chemical reacted with, what is it, 1:1. So yeah, we'll get 2 buckets of hydrofluoric acid. Buckets. 2 buckets of hydrogen, please. Still annoys me the fact that you can't do things with stacked stuff on this one. No idea why that's a thing. Grab another bucket. Do you know what? Let me just grab the entirety of the buckets. Anyway, this is done shortly. There we go. Also gives us some oxygen that we can take for the 1:1. So sure, we'll store that in there. Then jump over to this guy here. So this is our spare chemical reactor. Is fluorine a quest? Let me have a look before I start messing anything up. Nitrogen is, which we've already done. Ethanone. Elemental reduction fluid, that's what we're getting. Mid game, early game. No, I think we're fine. Okay, so chuck that into there. Hydrofluoric acid, yes please. Hydrofluoric acid is then, what is it? It's chemical reacted with pulsating dust, and it's 1:1. That shouldn't be a problem at all. Jump across. Yeah. Pulsating dust. We need 2 of you. There we go. 2 in there. Hydrofluoric acid gives us 2 buckets of elemental reduction fluid. Beautiful. So that's that quest. Let's jump back to mid-game. So yeah, then the idea is to kind of get one of each of these guys. So the first one that we'll be doing is, as I said, the Biosols powder. We will jump across over here. So coal dust. Can just use normal coal dust. We only need 2, I think, at the moment. Let me check that in there. Get that run in. I think it's probably automatically going to get pulled out. Oh, clearly didn't set up the thing on that one, don't worry. But that does mean that I can grab this. Oh no, I actually need to change it into its next form first. Obsidian. Go, chuck that into the macerator. Obsidian dust and petroleum dust. That should be one of the next quests as well. It is. Beautiful. Let me make the data model now. So that's beautiful as well. And chuck this guy in there. So that's going to get our basic mobs done. And just leaves the extraterrestrial mobs, which we'll be working on. And shouldn't be too hard. I wonder what that actually opened up. It's saying it's a key quest, but I don't know why it opened up, if I'm honest. Love this rod. Love this staff for travelling. Anyway, so that's going to be fine. And yes, realistically, we didn't actually need to make 2 buckets of this. We only needed what we've actually made, so let's have a look at these guys anyway. Blaze powder's not a problem, I don't want to be doing that one by accident. Blitz powder is what? Endstone dust, sure, we can get some of that. Endstone dust, while we're waiting on the other stuff to come through. Blizz is what? Snow? Do I have snow? We don't have snow, if I'm honest, so can't do that one in this way. Okay. Is this actually used for anything else? Not really. Okay. Blitz powder can be chucked in here for Orothium. Just for the quest. And realistically what I'm waiting on is this. Perfect. Let me grab the pristine matter. I'm going to leave that guy in there just for now because I don't want it to be going into the system just yet, but here we go, and we can get obsidian dust as well. That's really useful. But I want to be getting blizz rods with our first one, and let's change one down into blizz powder. That should be the quest done. Cryothium. We still need snow actually. How can we get snow? Oh, we can get snow from that. Hold the phone. Need that to hurry up and get us a second one. Didn't realise you could get snow. Okay. Some blaze powder. Yes, please. And then what is it? It's Pyrothium, which is then mana dust. So that's leading into a few different things. Getting the thermal thing set up is going to be so much nicer though. So blaze powder. Just do it that way for now, if I'm honest. Blaze powder. That looks sick. Anyway, Pyrothium. There we go. So that just leaves Cryothium, which we are waiting on this guy to finish. And as we speak, it's almost perfect. It's almost like I planned that. we go. Get rid of this guy, and let's get a stack of snowballs. Yes, please. Snowballs then gets turned into cryothium dust, which should unlock mana powder. Here we go. So we're unlocking a lot of the more complex stuff in mid-game now, instead of I kind of just focused straight through to get that one because they were fairly simple. This is what I'm going to be doing though, so let's get that side done. Anyway, so let's do the mana powder so that we can get it unlocked. Powder. Wait a second, let's just use this. Do use on this. Should open it up, I think. This is what we want, so we should have got everything. Did I only make one petroleum? Ooh, okay. Obsidian. Make another one of those. And some coal dust. Might as well use the last of our fluid over here. There we go. Chuck that all in there. Well, we've got 15. There we go, 13 to 13. That'll all pull through fine now. Grab the rest for now though. The amount of times I've done that is unreal. Where did it end up going? There we go. Yeah. The only issue, because it's a right click on the Staff of Travelling, if you open up an inventory, it won't go through as you think, so a little bit of something to keep an eye on, I guess, but yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot I used one of them to get that open. Anyway, so mana dust here. Should just be missing the diamond, which we have plenty of. Sure, let's macerate 3 down for now. Can I grab that? I can. There we go. Mana dust. Just to complete the quest, if I'm honest. And it opens up these guys. So mana infused ingot is mana dust and titanium dust. Okay. Titanium dust, obviously we know how we can get that with what we've already done, and mana infused ingot should be blast furnace, primal mana, which is mana dust. Okay, that's not a problem. Not something that I can see being easily auto-crafted, but with what we've got going, shouldn't be a problem realistically as well. A few different edges to that side. How are we doing over here? 48, that's what we want. Pick that through that. Okay, then let's turn this thing back on. And this should all be done over here. Thank you. 3, 1. Wait, what? What's happening? Why can't I put that in there? What's that? Wait. 1, 1. Let's have a look. Uses on the. Oh, it's in the mixer. Okay. It's not a chemical reactor. It's a job mixer. There we go. With that, that'll make us our rocket fuel, which should be how much? 3, 3. Oh, it's 1 to 1. Okay. Why did I think it was 3 to 1? I'm a little bit confused as to why I thought it was 3 to 1, but saves us oxygen, sure. Let me go and throw the oxygen back in this system. Oxygen goes in there. Okay. Go and pull the rocket fuel out. There we go. Grab a 4K. Grab this one. This was the hydrogen one, if you were wondering why it was separate from the rest. For some reason it separates it even if you get rid of the separation stuff in there, but sure. Store the rocket fuel in here. 48 buckets. Beautiful. And we shall grab a bucket as well, which we have on us, so it's fine. Just to complete the quest. Let's go back to late game. No, it's mid game. Where are we? It is late. Ooh, actually we've opened Draconium. Where is it? I know that there's one quest for rocket fuel. Is it early game still? Oh, it's still early game. Okay. Loading station, HV pumps, machine structures, steel heavy plating, steel plates. Okay, that's fine. Stainless steel machine blocks. That's fairly simple as well. Steel plating, we need 3 of those. So if I get steel plates, what is it, 14? Shouldn't be a problem. HV pump. Was it 3? I'll make 4 anyway. I think that should be everything that I need on that side. Linker tool, stainless steel, 3rd tier, and a HV emitter. Can I make a HV emitter? No. Chrome. Get that one worked on while we're working on a few other bits as well, might as well. Anyway, back to the Nether Star. Yes, that's what we're working on. Okay, wait for this one to run through. Will it succeed? No. That's fine. Okay, so let's have a look at late game again, mid game. Back to the craftable Nether Star. So yeah, takes you through all of those parts, which, as you've seen, it's literally just some quartz and each one of the dusts. What luminescence do we have? Luminescence, we have enough, that's fine. Which, as I say, is literally just phosphoric acid, aluminium and energetic, so shouldn't have any issues there. Block of luminescence is used in the center, so we need blaze rods. We've already got the blizz, so basols and blitz, that's what we're needing. Get rid of that. So basols, yes please. Get rid of that, and blitz. And I should now, in theory, have everything that I need. Oh, I don't have the blaze rods. Out of everything not to have. Blaze rods I can make. I know that you can get them from there, but I don't have it set up at the moment. That's fine. Blaze rods. Central. Yes, please. Thank you. Then let's go through them. So, erothium dust. Take a little bit of work, I guess, but shouldn't be a problem. Blitz powder. 4. Then we'll need, we've already got the basal, so that shouldn't be a problem. There we go. 2, 3, 4. Should be enough to make 4 of these. It is, thank you. This side is cryothium, blizz powder, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which is then turned in this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. So that's the left tip. West tip, whatever you want to call it. This one. Okay. How far are we off on this? Oh, obsidian. Let's grab half a stack, pulverize that down. Obsidian's not hard to get now at all. So let's, while that's waiting on, we'll get this one, so pyrothium. Get some blaze dust. I'll do it this way. Get like half a stack. Pyrothium blend. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that just leaves the south tip. 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So that should give us, let's store all that away, 4 nether stars. Ding ding. Quest. Oh no, wait. Oh, I didn't select those. East and south. I didn't put them in my inventory long enough. East tip is this guy. Let's make another one. South tip, I've just done it again. I'm going to make sure I put that in my inventory. Hold the phone. Tip. Tip. That should be everything now. Thank you. Oh dear. There we go. Craftable nether stars, sure. And we'll use one of these guys to make our wither data model. Easy. Now with the wither data model, you don't get nether stars, so don't think that it's an easy way to get nether stars, but it does allow you to get things like wither bones, which you can start getting into kind of the next tiers of amazing armor, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Obsidian helmet. So we'll be looking into kind of advanced crafting, which is not actually as bad as you might think, really. Black steel dust is mixed with all of this stuff, so black bronze dust, which is silver, gold, copper. Not a problem at all. But that is all of the data models, which leaves me the question as to why there's one extra. There shouldn't be one extra. Make sure that's off. Let's see. I've made one of each, otherwise that wouldn't have completed, and that fully completes the beginning quest of this game as well. Wonder what it was that opened up draconium dust. Chemical reactor. Wonder if it was this side. Yeah, I have a feeling that's what opened it up, because now we can actually get dragon's breath. Because if we have a look, draconium dust, chemical reactor, dragon's breath is able to be loot fabricated from Ender Dragon Mat. So I have a feeling that completing the quest unlocked that one. Although I'm not entirely sure, actually. I think that might have unlocked that one. Yeah, I have a feeling that's what that one unlocked. I don't know. A few things to be looking at anyway. Let's get back to this one. So, ran through that entire thing. That's fine. Acetic acid's not a problem either. But, ooh, that's interesting. Small microverse projector. What is it that I did to unlock these guys then? Modularium, deuterium, steel dust. Not sure why that was out of reach still, if I'm honest. Quantum compressor, possibly. Not sure. Go back anyway. Let's claim all of these quests, just to get rid of those, and so we can keep a track on what we've done. Mid game. Got a ton of Omnicoins coming our way. That's for sure. Not the least from this page on its own. Yeah, that's a fair whack of Omnicoins. What are we at the moment? 1750. We've pretty much just doubled our tally of Omnicoins. I'm happy on that side, and it also means that I can do less and less mining, so there's two sides of that side as well. Okay, so suppose probably should be getting these guys in to here with a data mod. I'll leave those guys in there for now. This one shouldn't be too powerful. Yeah, 1,000, but these guys 6,500 each, so 13,000 RF just to run those guys. I wonder what we're talking like for usage. break these down. Yeah, we're at 30,000 arithmetic, which is not sustainable at all. So yeah, a few things to look at that side. There was one thing that I was wanting to do still, and I can't remember what it was. Don't just love it when your mind just goes off on a tangent for no reason. It's not that. Oh, I was doing the... I know what I was doing. I was going to complete this guy, fuel loading station. Have we got everything? Not quite. Machine structure, stainless steel plates, machine block. That's fine. Stainless steel plates. Do we have any? Stainless steel plates. 4. Take that. These guys are 2 steel plates in a compressor. That's fine. Power wise as well, no issues. Jump over here. One in each to get it a little bit quicker. Might as well. There we go. Machine structure. Make sure that we're pulling some of these stuff into our inventories. Guarantee it'd make... Wait, yeah, probably best I do that as well. No, that's not a quest. Fair enough. Anyway, so we got this fueling station. We need the linker. Which... Oh yeah, we made the chrome for that reason. Grab some more stainless steel plates. Chrome. 2 of these guys in the lathe. Linker. Let's have a look. This guy here. We should have got everything. Yep, that's fine. And you just wait on the stainless steel. Wait, what? Did it get used in this? Stainless steel. I don't know what happened. Did I not craft enough? Not entirely sure. Should be shortly. There we go. What is happening here? Am I losing stuff? There, linker. I'm not entirely sure what happened to all the excess stuff there, but sure, you do you, game. You do you, game. So that's that one. Let's claim the quest as well. Store them in there for now. And yeah, I'm happy with that side, and I think that's going to be where we're going to call it. As I'm going to get a few other little bits done off camera, see where we're going on that side. But if you are enjoying the series and are going to stick around for the remainder, do hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. Thank you, and goodbye.